Hi, friends. Welcome back to Live at the Roxy on this Tuesday, possibly the most important Tuesday of our lives, especially if you are living right here in the United States. It is election day. If you tuned into this show today because you had severe anxiety and just were sick and tired of being alone, welcome. If you tuned in today because you tune in every day and we have gone live for 232 days in a row, welcome. If you tuned in today because you just want to know what the fuck I was going to talk about, I'll be honest with you guys, that is completely up to you. This is a show that I did not feel like planning today. I was like, okay, I don't know what the people want today. Do they want to be distracted? Do you want to not think about the election? It's probably too hard to compartmentalize as this is such a massive, massive moment in American history and therefore global history, because what we do here today affects the entire world. Do you guys want to talk about the election? Maybe not. Maybe that's not fun for you either. So like I said, on this day, there are no topics that are off limits. There are no topics that are on limits. We have the floor is yours. Filibuster all you want. Get those questions, comments, concerns, anything you want to talk about today. Streamlabs.com/Roxy Striar or right here in the super chat. I also want to know what you guys are doing to ease that anxiety today, what you're doing to vote today, all of those things. We did a massive show of bunnies yesterday to see who had already voted. So many of the rock stars already had, including myself, and I'm really proud and impressed for those of you who have already. I'm trying to get through the day, and the truth is we don't know. This day might be 2 days, this day might be 3 days, this day might be a week. We don't know how long this feeling of anxiety is going to last. If you are in here right now, there's a very high likelihood that you are either A, not in this country, or B, are a Biden supporter. There's not that many Trump supporters left in my chat. That's not because they're not welcome here. That's because typically if you're a Trump supporter, you don't want to listen to me talk too much because you don't have the same beliefs or interests that I do. But regardless, if you are in here right now, I believe you to be a rock star. And I'm here for you guys. And I really appreciate you guys being here for me. The only thing that we do know we talk about every single day on this show is Brett Hankinson, Miles Cosgrove, Jonathan McEnley arrest the cops that killed Breonna Taylor, all three of them for killing Breonna Taylor. That's the truth. And that's something that seems only likely and only a possibility. And I don't mean specifically that situation. I mean situations like that situation in the future to be helped by voting for Joe Biden. And that's how that's relevant to today's show. What are you guys already talking in here? Let's see what the rock stars are up to on this anxiety-stricken, bizarro, gloomy, strange day. Larry Lease right now. Hit that like button, and guys, stay sane out there. Totally, Larry, thank you for reminding everybody to stay sane. It is very important during this time, as it's challenging to do. I'll be honest, some people are like giving me a lot of fear and anxiety about, my dad's telling me that he thinks that I should think about leaving the state if this goes Trump's way. And a lot of people are saying that it's not safe on this side of the hill and just so many different things. And it's like, I don't even know what's fucking happening anymore. I guess I just want to believe in people, but we'll see. We will see. Morse Code Z says, I want to know when you'll be working on your Stitch versus Yoda rap battle. I don't have a Stitch versus Yoda. It's the same voice. If they rap battled, it would just sound like one person. That's the problem. And that's the way that the cookie crumbled. Bryant Brawler says, I appreciate you calling me out on SEN and keeping me accountable. I meant my comment in jest, but should have done a better job expressing my intent. Bryant, I was surprised because you've always been so great, but it's not funny or fun to call somebody stupid, and to say that they don't know much, especially when that seems to be the narrative about me. And I know you, and I think that you're great. And sometimes we make silly jokes that don't land, and that one just didn't land. But it wasn't just you. It's a slew of people who continue this narrative that I'm not smart or don't have as much knowledge as all of the men that are surrounding me. And that's just not fucking true. And it's time that I put a stop to it because it's just not the case. So that's why I said something. But I also didn't specifically say your name out loud because it wasn't really about you, But I appreciate you taking ownership of that, and appreciate you always being in here like the true rock star that you are. Let's go over into the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/Roxy Striar. Ryan White in the house says, I've said it before and I'll keep saying it. SEN Live is always better when you're on. You and RB3 were letting them have it today, and I loved it. Also, thanks for the great rap at the end. We'll be watching Impolite Truce tonight. Hope you stop by. That's John Roca and Dorina Arellano's show, and they're going to be doing election coverage tonight. I am not envious of that job, man. I'm not actually even sure what it is I'm going to be doing. Definitely something to do with cannabis. Might have somebody come over here because it's a weird time. Just focusing the camera. But yeah, cannabis, maybe some wine, stress. I'm just going to be working mostly. So I'm going to do some yoga, probably sit on the bike, all of that stuff. Yeah. Also going into the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/Roxy Striar. This one is from Glenn Caesar. Glenn, you're the freaking best. He says, hello, Roxy. Love you. Happy election day. Hopefully. It's true. Hopefully, happy election day. As always, thanks for hanging out with us and giving us a show and place to chill out together. I hope you, Grammy, Papo, and all of your family and the rock stars are well. Stay safe, y'all. Peace, love, bunnies, and hugs. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, I hope Grammy's okay today, too. Like, it's a very, very stressful time to be alive and to be a grandparent. To Josh in the chat, says we need to get Roxy 20,000. I was there, and then I started being very vocal about all my beliefs, and then I lost some people, and that's kind of how that happened. Anytime I do a major fundraiser too, I lose people. It's like I raise money for George Floyd and Philando Castile, lose hundreds of followers. Raise money for Alzheimer's, lose a bunch of followers. What is that, peeps? What is that? Yeah. There's a lot of people. Hi to my friend Susie Easton in the chat talking about a civil war. And it is kind of funny, but it's also not funny at all. Like the TikTokers who are doing it, it's like, oh, haha. But then it's also like, wait, this is real life and this is what's happening. I've also had some strange other things take place today. I had a friend who believes that all of the smart people are voting for Donald Trump. So they think that they should vote for Donald Trump, which is a highly concerning thought process. Number one, because that's how you're casting your vote. Number two, what do you deem to be a smart person? Number three, it's concerning how many people make such a massive decision on a whim. And when I'm talking about like how so many people are like, how could anybody be undecided? It's people who like make decisions based on things like that, which are just so ridiculous and egregious. And it's like, oh my fucking God. It's just like such a shitty way to choose who you're voting for. And I don't even know that I'm allowed to say that, but it just is. Yeah. I did, for anybody who doesn't know, I did say it on the show, but I voted earlier this month. I drove to Norwalk, California with Dorina and Steph, and we cast our votes. Anybody who hasn't voted yet and is here in California, I highly recommend voting yes for the stem cell research prop, which is 14, even though a lot of people are saying voting no. I care a lot about brain disease, so that's the one that I've been pushing. But in general, there are a lot of things, like a lot of people that I was voting for that I like spent hours doing research on, because different pamphlets tell you who to vote for, and then people just take that as fact. But I'm like, wait, I like need to know more about this person. Where do they come from? What are their beliefs? How are they going to make a difference? What have they done in their past? And some people just really, really don't look into things. And it's wild. It's wild to see how some of our friends, families, loved ones are making decisions during this like huge, huge election. I feel like so much less attention has been going towards the other things other than president, because people are just so polarized when it comes to the president this year. And a lot of people are also saying like, this is just similar to any election year where the Republicans are on the Republican side, the Democrats are on the Democrat side. But to me, this is the craziest election of my lifetime. I remember it being wild before. I remember with like Bush Gore, that got like a little tumultuous, but not like this. Not like this. Not in the middle of a global pandemic and the biggest race fight of our lives. Like, it just is, it's different. It feels different. And for people to say it feels the same, I don't understand that. I really don't. Let's go to the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/Roxy Striar. Bad Rabbit says, I just want everyone to remember that alcohol is not a way to fix your mental health. It's only a patch. Please take care of yourself, people. This election does not decide our future. You do. Continue to be good people. All love. Bad Rabbit, that's a smart thing to say. I think for anybody who wants to have, anybody who is not an addict, who would like to have a drink tonight while watching the election, you can feel free to do so. But like, no, this isn't like a good opportunity to binge drink, or if you are an addict, to fall off the wagon. Like, this is the time to take care of yourself and meditate. And like I said, I'm probably going to be smoking that ganj because I use it medicinally as well, and it really helps me alleviate my stress. But Bad Rabbit, good reminder, and I appreciate that. Leonard Kim in the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/Roxy Striar says, regardless of the results, you should be extremely proud, Roxy. You never stop talking politics and constantly remind people to vote and have their voices heard. You're always striving to make a positive impact, and you accomplish just that. Thank you, Leonard Kim. I really appreciate that. Yeah, despite losing followers on the show, despite it dropping how much money that I'm making or any of the things that are happening, I wouldn't be able to. I live my whole life thinking, what is going to make me look in the mirror and like what I see? I think about that every day. What is going to make it so that I look in the mirror and I feel proud? I like what I see. I feel like when I look in the mirror, I see a good friend, a good partner, a good lover, a good sibling, a good child, a good grandkid, all those things. What's going to make me feel like a whole good person? And if I'm going to do a daily show during a global pandemic during this time, and I'm going to be up over 230 days in a row and not take one day off, how am I going to come on here and not talk about fucking politics? Like, that's what's so important in our world right now. And in a less politically charged time, maybe it wouldn't be the center of the show, but it just seems so disingenuous. And like, I wouldn't be able to look in the mirror and feel okay if I just pretended. You know, and that's nothing against any other show. Like, I love that SEN is exactly what it is, which is a show to take your mind off things. And that's fucking great. But for me as a person, if I do my own show and it's my choice and every single day I'm here, I got to talk about it because it's so important to me. And it's important to me because it's important for our planet and our kids and our kids' kids, which would be our grandkids. Like, one day, I really believe that this is going to make history and people are going to talk about this election for better or worse. And this could be a turning point for better or worse. I am concerned what happens either way, to be perfectly honest with you guys. If Biden wins this, and there's a couple different options here, right? Joe Biden wins tonight and he wins by a landslide, and still Donald Trump obviously is going to combat it because he's already set up precedent for it, saying that he doesn't believe it, and with the mail-in votes and all of that stuff. So he's going to fight it, and it's going to be very tumultuous and difficult. And if he does accept, or when he does accept that Biden won, and after he leaves the White House, the Trump supporters are not going to go easy. They're not going to go quietly, and they're not going to just turn around and start supporting Joe Biden. Obviously, this is a vast generalization, but that is something to be concerned about, because when people feel backed into a corner, they double down, they triple down. I believe that the race wars will get worse before they get better, regardless. And I can't even believe that I'm referring to them as the race wars. What the fuck does that even mean, Roxy? Like, I can't believe really what it is not a race. It's not the race wars. It's the assault and utter mistreatment of our Black brothers and sisters. That's what it is. Like, it's not even really a war, because to be a war, both sides need to be fucking armed, and Black people are just living their lives, being born in the skin that they're born, and they're getting murdered for it. Like, that's what's fucking happening. So it's hard to call that a fucking war. It's honestly more of a fucking genocide. But anyway, I digress. I think that it's going to be very challenging if Biden wins. However, at least that will provide for a brighter future, because we're going to be able to change policies. We're going to be able to make sure we start taking steps forward. And that's really important. If Biden wins not by a landslide, by a little bit, then it's going to be really tumultuous and we're really going to be in trouble. If Trump wins by a little bit, then I think that it will be blown out of proportion to he won by a huge amount. It was the greatest amount that anybody ever won by. It was a huge amount, and he became the president again. And honestly, he's going to change the position so that not only can he be a second-term president, but he's going to be a third-term president and a fourth-term president. And then also what's going to happen is we're not going to be able to add more members to the Supreme Court. So we're going to be highly at risk of losing things like Roe v. Wade or any of the LGBTQIA plus rights. And it's going to be announced tonight. And if Trump wins by a landslide, then truthfully, I actually think I'm going to have to start thinking about reassessing my existence in this country. Because if Trump somehow manages to win by a landslide, it's so concerning to me that we live in a country that either agrees with Trump wholeheartedly about everything he says, including grabbing women by the pussy and building a wall and obviously all the things that he's been saying from day one, or they just prioritize their own, what they believe to be their own finances, and they think that Trump will be more beneficial for them financially. But it's unbelievable to me that Biden has said time and time again that he's not going to raise taxes on anybody making less than $400,000 a year. Yet all these people think that Trump is going to be the one that helps them financially. And it's like, how many of you guys are making more than $400,000 a year? Not many of you. I know this is a long tangent that I just went on, but all of those scenarios are very messy and are all cause for concern. So no matter what happens tonight, I think that's why we're all feeling this extreme anxiety, because nothing goes quietly into the night tonight. Whatever happens tonight, it's not the beginning and it's not the end. It's just one other step on our journey. And this will be a turning point, but this will not be the only point. So we have to fight the good fight. We have to continue to talk about it. We have to text our friends who are debating voting and make them fucking show up to the polls and continue to fight all the way through this. Let's go back into the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/Roxy Striar. Let's see. Okay. Daryl Lay, thank you, Daryl, says, greetings from the UK, not election related, but I'm looking into launch a new project and stepping away from a fan site I wrote for and represented for 6 years. Hope things are relatively peaceful in the US. Daryl, I said, whatever you guys want to talk about, if it's distractions, if it's not, anything, everything. I'm glad that you're looking to launch a new project, and sounds like that if that's the move you want to make, then we're all backing you and Rockstars forever, baby. Leonard Kim in here says, also, your hair looks great today, cute and sophisticated. Really, it's called messy and no time to do it. Please try your best to maintain mental stability and sanity. You can do it. I believe in you. Thank you, Leonard Kim. I believe in you back. Mark Jason Ali with that massive support in here. Thank you, Mark, who says, hi, RJ. I not had internet since I moved, so couldn't watch live till today. Gotcha. I went back to rewatch, though. How are you? How are your gigs? Glad you voted. To anyone still on the fence, Americans won't survive if Trump is reelected. Go vote Biden. I would if I were in the U.S. Mark, thank you so much for this. My gigs are going okay. Some of them are falling through. Some of them are picking up. It just kind of depends. I'm working like a fucking dog right now, as you guys know. It's like all I do, work. But I'm very lucky to be able to work during this time. So, yeah, I don't know if Trump is reelected. We can't say that America won't survive. And I'm not saying this like Trump should be or could be reelected. I'm saying this like we need to, if that is the case, we're going to have to regroup and reassess and figure out how the fuck to continue to fight the good fight. But I don't even want to put that in the universe today. We will talk about that if it comes. If it comes, then we will talk about it. Glenn Caesar in the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/Roxy Striar says, in some fuck yeah news, my CP symptoms are diminished again. Woo! Due to my special tantric yoga, that's awesome, not sex, technique session last night and morning. Also a chilled out late night live stream for the Roxy Striar Patreon sometime tonight, maybe. If you can't, I get it. It's going to depend on what's going on with Impolite Truths and, yeah, what's going on with the election, but that might be a good call. Thanks, Glenn, for always suggesting awesome things. I appreciate it. You rock. Also going through the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com, and thank you guys for all the support in here today. Really appreciate it. Wawawiwa, make a baby. Bad Rabbit says, I hope this political awareness continue after the election. This has been my first year in my life. I feel seen as a Black guy from the Midwest. It took a pandemic for people to slow down and take notice of what's happening around them. I appreciate you. Bad Rabbit, yeah, it is kind of crazy. Like, I have to say, I don't even like to phrase it this way, but like if COVID has done one positive thing, which like obviously nobody wanted COVID. Nobody was rooting for COVID. Everybody wants fucking COVID gone. But if it did do one positive thing, it was allow people to have the time to realize how incredibly fucked up the treatment of Black people in our country and around the world is. Like, I don't know that the protests would have looked like what they looked like had people still just been working. The same thing that happened to George Floyd and the same thing that happened to Breonna Taylor, those things have been happening forever. It's not like those are new phenomenons. And so I don't know that if we were not in a global pandemic, would there have been the same protests? Would there have been the same visibility? I don't think so. And so that is one small, not a small positive, it's a massive thing that's what took place. But if we're trying to make lemonade out of lemon, when we look at COVID, that's one thing that we can say thank you to COVID for, even though COVID is fucking horrific and has taken hundreds of thousands of people in this country alone. Matthew Dominguez, sorry. I can read, I swear. Matthew Dominguez in the super chat says, hey, Roxy, I love you. You always keeping it real and you say what's on your mind. I'm in San Antonio, Texas. Hate being in the South. Biden 2020. Well, yo, Matthew, Texas is doing big things this year. I mean, we'll see what's going on there, but like, do you think, Matthew, that there's a possibility that you guys go blue? Do you think? Closer than ever. And that seems to be the truth. And what do you guys think, most importantly, is going to happen in Florida? And what's going to happen in Ohio? And what's going to happen? I mean, these swing states, man, they're fucking close. They're fucking close. And we just don't know. And hopefully we'll know more tonight, but we really, truly might not. Going back to the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/Roxy Striar, Josh97HD says, I will always support you, Roxy. I have been watching you since 2015 here from the UK on various channels, SEN, Collider. You and SEN encouraged me to start my own YouTube channel, so thank you. That's awesome, Josh. I'm so happy to hear that. It's challenging to start your own YouTube channel. Number one, it's scary. It's hard to put yourself out there. And then also to figure out what content to put on, to be different, to be heard, to be seen. The whole thing is tough. So I'm really proud of you. And that's very impressive. And just starting it is half the battle. So way to go. And thanks for supporting since 2015. That's not a short amount of time, my friend. And I don't take any of it for granted. Garth Harkness McMurray in the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/Roxy Striar says, after the show, I'll be trying to avoid politics for the rest of the day and tomorrow too. I may have to get off the internet. This is one time I'd be happy to hear you talk about The Bachelor or sports. Love you, RJ. Please stay safe this week. Garth, I think that's a completely fair thing to say. The truth is, there is no Bachelor tonight because there's the election. It's supposed to happen tonight, but it's not in terms of sports. Slightly less depressing than the global pandemic and the election, but Cam Newton not doing well, Patriots not doing well, and that's like it that we have for sports right now. So there's not much for me to talk about in that arena. I wish there was more. Sorry, my love. I wish I could help with those distractions more. Jake Yakavetta reminding everybody, streamlabs.com/Roxy Striar. And shout out to the 160 of you guys who are watching this live right now and the 97 of you who have given this a thumbs up. I feel like for the most part, today is a day that we just don't fucking want to be alone. Whatever that anxiety we are feeling is collective. And it feels like this, I don't know about you guys, but I woke up, it felt like this fucking weight on my chest. It felt like that feeling when you just know the other shoe's about to drop. And honestly, just to be perfectly frank with you guys, last week, I was feeling much more optimistic about Biden. But as I was going to bed last night and looking at some of these swing states and the close calls, it's like, holy shit, is it possible? Is it really possible that we live in a country where over 50% of the people either believe what he believes or prioritize what he prioritizes? Because I just don't want to believe that we live in a country that is okay having a sexist, racist, homophobic president who straight up does not believe in gay marriage, who does not believe in a woman's right to choose, who thinks it's okay to grab them by the pussy, who obviously is okay with children being in cages and not being with their family. I mean, that's a vote for him is a vote for those things, even if that's not why you're voting for him, even if you're voting for him because it's about money, a vote for him still votes for those things. And that's what people can't seem to grasp. And I just don't want to believe I live in a country that prioritizes those things over human rights. How can you prioritize your wallet over somebody being ripped from their family at the border? Like, it's just so, I cannot believe that to be the case. I can't let myself believe that that's the truth. That's the reality of where we're at. But then again, Garth, I feel you that after the show, you might avoid politics for a little bit, because what are we going to do? Just sit and stare at the screen all fucking day and just watch the numbers rise and fall and rise and fall. I mean, there's really no point, at least until tonight, to do anything. I have been distracting myself a little bit. I've been watching The Haunting of Bly Manor, which is awesome. I don't think it's as good as Hill House, but it's been a really interesting watch. I think it's great. But yeah, social interaction today is key, and I'm alone. So this is my social interaction. I know a lot of you guys are alone. By the way, by a show of bunnies, who is alone during this time? Show of bunnies. Send bunnies if you, like me, are alone during this time. And I say that saying, not because some people have said I shouldn't say that on air, because that will mean somebody will come and fucking grab me, which I hope is not the case. And I have people coming and checking me all the fucking time. So don't you get any fucking thoughts about that. I also have a massive knife next to my bed and other things to take care of myself. So just you fucking be cool. But just curious, how many of you guys insert bunnies here? Says Cinemagaria, Jonathan Donsel, John G, Garth McMurray, Bruce Banner. Okay, so there are some of us: Glenn Caesar, Juan Mendez, Big Al the Tank. What's up, Big Al? Legaltland says 2 bunnies, so they are not alone. I feel that, Legal. I feel that. John DeLong, Toko, Rob K, Elena Marie, Anthony Crotty, Chuck Caslow. Okay, Super Dan, Josh 97, Richard Padilla, Cinemagaria, Weston Ira. Here's the thing. By the fact that we are all alone, but we are in here together, there's something beautiful about that, and something important about that, and something incredible about the fact that we are in a global pandemic, at least in a time in which we have access, or many of us, the lucky ones, have access to internet and Zoom and StreamYards and YouTube and FaceTime and phone calls and text messages. And in a time where when we're alone, if you have the access and the means, you're never truly, truly fucking alone. So I'm grateful to be here. I have been trying to, as we're in Thanksgiving time right now, figure out what it is that I'm grateful for, even though the election is happening right now. I'm grateful that I have all of you guys, and I'm grateful for you guys that you all have each other and me. So that's something. At least that's fucking something. Let's go into the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/Roxy Striar. PLD in the house. PLD said, no matter what happens today, you're here with us. We're here with you. It'll be okay. Exactly what I'm saying, Paul Denuzio, my amazing moderator and friend. Yeah, that's the truth. And no matter what happens today, our fight does not stop. If Biden wins, our fight does not stop. If Biden loses, our fight does not stop. We have to continue to push forward and be heard and let everybody know what we will stand for and what is not acceptable to us. So that's very important. And thank you guys for continuing to be in here and be this tight community of people who fucking fight for the right things, because I just know it. We're on the right side of history. We are. Bojack's in the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/Roxy Striar says, can't believe I'm saying this, but I'm gonna miss not having the Bachelorette on tonight. Never watched before this season, but it's a whole thing. Bojack's, I feel you on that. This season is wild, and I definitely want to see what is happening, because we're getting Tayshia coming in. What's going on with Dale? Those are the things that I want to be doing during a global pandemic. I want to be watching comedies. I want to be getting stoned and writing and enjoying my life. I'm sure you guys do too. I certainly wish that The Bachelorette was on tonight. I kind of feel like if The Bachelorette was on tonight, it might get the highest ratings that it's ever gotten because people would just be like, fuck it. It's the only thing on other than the election. Let's just fucking watch it for a little bit. Like kind of would be a smart move of them to have aired it anyway. I think that it would have been maybe illegal and maybe like fucked up for society, but kind of a smart move. Elena reminds us Thursday Bachelorette night, though. Totally feel that. I'll be watching then. And that might be when we know more about the election anyway. So all of this and we will see. Oh boy. I've said it 15,000 times today so far. That's me like every other sentence. I take a big breath in. And I breathe out. And I say, oh boy. Definitely after this, I've got work to do today, but I will be doing some kind of yoga on my bike. Some kind of maybe Instagram story, questions, whatever it is, just to like keep moving forward. It's the motto of the day. Just fucking move forward. Okay. Kieran Douglas says, sending love from the UK and praying that human decency prevails. Even as a 19-year-old Londoner, I have never felt more gravity in any political outcome ever. Wow. Kieran, that's an interesting statement, and I am glad that you're praying for human decency. And I honestly, that's kind of how I've been phrasing it. Like, this election is kind of about like a good guy versus an evil guy. And like regardless of the fact that Biden would not have been my first choice for president, you guys know I loved Elizabeth Warren. I really like Pete Buttigieg. I would have preferred Bernie Sanders. I liked Andrew Yang. There's a lot of people I prefer to Joe Biden. And Joe Biden does some old man shit sometimes. He does some old white man shit where he'll say something that's like not fully politically correct or slightly racist. And this is not an excuse for that because those things suck. And do I prefer that? No. But at the same time, I really do believe him to be a decent man who's experienced a lot of loss and would lead this country with extreme empathy for the people and a true want to help people and to help all of the people. And so I really believe him to be a decent man. And so that's one person running for president. And then our current president, I don't believe to be a decent man. I don't believe him to care about our people, all of the people. I believe him to only care about some people, and those people look like him. They have penises, they're white, they're wealthy, and that's who I believe him to truly care about. I don't believe he cares about me. I don't believe he cares about most of you. I don't believe him to be decent. I don't believe him to lead with empathy. And that, to me, even regardless of their policies, which of course I agree with Biden's more so, I don't believe Donald Trump to be decent. I believe him actually to be the opposite of that. So that's, to me, like kind of as simple as it gets on this one. That's as simple as it gets. And to the people in here who are voting for Donald Trump, like I said, you guys are welcome in the Rockstar community. Hate is not welcome here, but I'm going to speak my mind and you guys are allowed to speak your mind. But where we draw the line is that there can be no hate, no racism, no sexism, no homophobia, no anti-Semitism, none of that. There's no room for that here. But if you are voting for Donald Trump, I don't agree with you. I don't believe you should be. But that doesn't mean that you're not allowed to be here. And that also doesn't mean that you don't have your reasons. And every person that I know is voting for Donald Trump, and I've asked them why. I have not heard one reason that I deem to be legitimate yet. But it's not mine to deem, you know? It's just simply not mine to deem. Again, breathing in, breathing out, and saying it with me. Oh boy. Oh boy. I really do wish I was seeing Elizabeth Warren up there. Although I will say that I don't know that a woman would have been able to win this election. So if Joe Biden is able to pull, maybe he was. Another shout out to all of you guys in here. I know it's so hard to be seen and heard and loved during this time. So just shout out to some of you guys that I see right now. Weston Ira, Bruce Banner, Garth McMurray, Joseph Ashley, Super Dan, Rob K, Cinemagalia, Chuck Caslow, Elena Marie, Weston, Joseph, Melissa Byrne, Troy, mild-mannered comic nerd, who's reminding me to hang in there. I'm hanging in. I'm hanging in. I certainly am. Legault Land, Chris Martinez, Manny Gonzalez. Oh, Susie Easton, my OG. Melissa wants to know what reasons I've heard. A lot of my friends who are voting for Trump say that they don't believe him to be racist. They believe Biden to be more racist. They don't have much evidence to back that up, but that's their feeling. And because they think that Trump will save them more money or Trump will help them with their business more. Anybody who's starting a business, that Trump will help our economy more, that Trump will get us out of a recession, should that come, and that what Trump has done. And I told you guys, I am grateful for part of what Trump has done in the Middle East in terms of like with Sudan and Israel, but so that's part of the battle too, that a lot of them think that he won't be bullied by foreign leaders and that Biden will, and that Biden's not capable of handling foreign policy and foreign leaders. So those are the things that I've heard so far. And it's not that I don't think some of those things are legitimate. It's just that I don't think those things are legitimate over the things that I'm saying, which are somebody who doesn't believe in a woman's right to choose, somebody who doesn't believe that gay people should be able to get married, somebody who believes that it's okay to sexually assault women and that there shouldn't be repercussions to that. You know, those are things that I have to think that as a nation we would want to prioritize over, like I said, taxes or your business making more money. So yeah. Anyway, if you guys don't have any more questions, comments, concerns, then we will be getting out of here shortly. Streamlabs.com/Roxy Striar or right in the super chat. I am here with you guys. I'm here. And like I said, I didn't pick out what we were talking about on the show today because it just seems so irrelevant. Like what else today is relevant? It's only really what you guys are feeling, what you guys want to talk about. Give yourselves a little bit of liberty, a little bit of grace today, a little bit of understanding for however it is you're feeling. Try to remember this is not the last day of the world, no matter what happens, and the fight will continue no matter what happens, especially here on this channel. And come hell or high water, I'll be live at the Roxy tomorrow at 1 p.m. And that's just the truth. Some things will stay the same no matter what takes place. No matter what takes place. You guys are talking about the toilet flumes. I get it. Apparently they're plumes. I've been saying flumes. I guess I meant blooms. It's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. All right. Shout out to you guys. If you don't want to be alone tonight, Impolite Truths is going to be on. I was going to go live with Steph tonight, but then I didn't want to go up against Darina. So I think we're not going to. But yeah, I'll be available still. Probably, like I said, on my Instagram story or whatever it is. Maybe do the Patreon show, Glenn. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. That's just me. Plumes of gas. I don't think I ever even heard the word plumes before the other day. Just making shit up as I go. All right. Much love to everybody. I will see you guys tomorrow, 1 p.m. live at the Roxy. Hopefully we'll have more answers. Also, tomorrow night, we will be doing the Whirl Girls, and we are giving Never Have I Ever a whirl. So you guys will write things that you have done or have not done. And then if we've done them, we will have to drink. It will be nice to get a little buzz tomorrow night too, because at that point, who knows what's going on this planet. So I'll be live twice tomorrow. So don't you worry. I'm not going anywhere. Much love to all you guys. Just final shout outs. Demo, Bruce, Mariko, Weston, Brittany, Cinema. And by the way, I love all the men that watch the show too, but shout out to all my fucking women. All the fucking women in here. Because you guys know how fucking hard it is. And just shout out to you. And also to all my men. Obsessed with all of you. Cinema, Chuck, Rob, Super Dan, Glenn Caesar, Juan Mendez. Mariko True is the cutest name I've ever heard in my life. Big Al the Tank, Josh 97 HD, Abby Starling. Don't forget also, guys, to like this video, subscribe if you haven't already, all that good stuff. Anthony Crotty, G. Smith, thank you to 132 thumbs up so far. Jonathan Donsel, Weston Ira. All right, be safe, be smart. Good luck tonight. Stay strong. Make your beds if you haven't already. Close your toilet seats. Be kind to one another. We're going to definitely need it no matter what. Dakota, Morse code. Those are my final ones. I should have ended with be kind to each other no matter. We're going to need it no matter what, though. That was a good line. Let's just pretend I stopped there.